Hi guys and girls, Gallifrey Forever 97 and welcome to today's Doctor Who Top 10 video. Today, to celebrate Halloween, I'm counting down my top 10 scariest monsters from Doctor Who, taking you through why I think they're the scariest from the whole back catalogue of monsters and villains from over 55 years of the show. This is my personal list, as the choices are the ones that I resonated with when I was younger through watching the show. So let me know in the comment section below what your scariest monsters and villains picks would be. Before we get into the list, I just want to announce a couple of things. Firstly, you can now vote in SL Productions' Top 50 YouTubers for 2019. It's a yearly thing he does. It's a great celebration of all different YouTubers on the platform. You don't have to vote for me if you don't want to. It's not like a plug-in for that. But you can vote for your favourites and see how they come overall. Link in the description for that video where you can vote on there and it explains it a bit more. And secondly, I'm going to be at MCM London Comic Con at the XL on this Sunday, the 27th of October. If you see me there, feel free to come say hi. I'll be going to most of the panels and visiting the Doctor Who shop and seeing all the props there. But yes, if you're going, come say hello and I hope to see you there. So at number 10, we have Davros, the creator behind the most powerful and memorable Doctor Who baddies of all time. He was a product of the war on Scarecrow between the Movellans and the Thals, where he was confined to a mobile life support system due to his injuries. He was then appointed chief scientist of the Carlid, where he created, you guessed it, the Daleks, and won them the war, and the rest I guess is history. First appeared in the 19th century story Genesis of the Daleks in Tom Baker's first season, and has returned to being equal to the Doctor in many incarnations, up to Series 9 with the Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, where he got to see the Doctor influence Davros as he met him when he was a child, way before he becomes the mutant creator of the Daleks. On the surface, Davros has a burnt, mutated style face similar to Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. The top half of his body only exists, with the bottom half being encased in a Dalek base to help him move around. The only hand that works was shot off in the 6th Doctor story Revelation of the Daleks, which now results in a metal robotic hand that can shoot electricity. I presume this is powered by the Dalek machinery he's encased in. In the 10th Doctor story of Star on Earth, we saw how Davros used his own skin to create a new army of Daleks. You see the gruesome mix of bones and remaining skin, which is disgusting to look at. The look of Davros on his own makes him scary, with the sort of evil mutated pose. It's basically a Dalek with a face in it. What's not to fear? I think what makes him truly terrifying, however, is his intelligence and wit, which pits him terrifyingly against the Doctor, making him a formidable foe. He's projected the fear he once had as a scared mutant scientist and channeled it into giving to life the deadliest killers in the universe. Number 9, we have the Midnight Entity. This is probably the most unique entry to this. It's featured in the one-off story from Series 4 titled Midnight. This unknown entity takes over a shuttle of tourists, including the Doctor, as they travel across a planet called Midnight. It feeds off the most feared person on there and sort of takes over their body, and obviously slowly copying their words, and eventually they become ahead of them. It's really chilling, and then brings the Doctor to his knees. The clearest thing I feel that makes this entity so scary, and there's a few connections between this on the list, is the unknown. Like, we never see who the creature is. The form we see it in is Sky when we see her being possessed, who gives a really creepy performance as she's possessed by the entity of Midnight. So it's more of a psychological horror of seeing how the people on the shuttle react, and just going to show how scary words can be. It's a really great idea, and it's effectively executed in quite a small space, and the people on the shuttle start getting angry and all their emotions, like you see them scared, which makes the audience scared. The less known about it, the more scarier it is. My number 8 choice is the Vashta Narada. Yes, the Vashta Narada appeared in the 2-part series 4 episode, literally an episode before midnight, Science of the Library and the Forest of the Dead. They swarm in the shadows, so you can't see them as they live in the shadows. And obviously shadows are everywhere, that's the great thing. Like, everywhere you look, unless you're out in the sunlight, there are shadows everywhere. And it's a fear of the dark as well. It's a great idea by Stephen Moffat. They're carnivores, so they literally rip the skin off. In the episode The Science of the Library, Forest of the Dead, you've got people in spacesuits which are animating the bodies. Otherwise, they'd just be kind of bone messes on the floor. But the entity still is in the spacesuit, so it's still walking around and it's a skull. They repeat themselves. That's how you know that they've been taken over. But if the dark wasn't already scary, this adds a whole new level to darkness and shadows. Number 7, we have the Scarecrows from the Family of Blood 2-parter. These are a type of soldiers which have been created by the son of mine, part of the family of blood. It's kind of a mix between like their head turns, the creepy head turns that they do. Every time you walk past a Scarecrow now, you kind of think, is that going to come to life? As they are obviously things of fear, they're meant to scare off like birds. They've got really tormented faces as well, like the mouth has been like kind of ripped open and stitched, and so is the eyes. In the story, they can be taken down quite easily, I guess. Obviously they are shot and they come down, but they're just the fast pace of them. But I know I've walked past a farm and I've seen a Scarecrow and you've gone, did that move? Did that move? And you just keep staring at it, and it kind of has that fear to the mundane, which Doctor Who's great at. At number 6, we have The Beast, from the Series 2-parter from David Tennant's era, The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit. Now this takes the form of the literal devil, which is a very scary, horrifying look. It's massive, it breathes fire out its mouth, it's got horns. But I think what makes it so scary is more of the possession side. The build up to seeing it by the end of the 2-parter, you get obviously this very horrible, dark, creepy voice, which I think is done by the voice of the guy who did Sutek back in the Tom Baker era. But he possesses you see the red eyes project out, and you know that you'd have been taken over, and they become the worst versions of themselves. He keeps taunting the crew members. It is like a game for him. So although he also has his like massive physical presence kind of taking the form of what we perceive as the devil, the mind games he plays are much terrifying, playing on the people's deepest fears, which can throw anybody off. At number 5, we have The Silence. Yes, the Moffat introduced monster in the Series 6 opener, The Impossible Planet and Day of the Moon. Now, although kind of in Time of the Doctor, their scariness was taken away with their turtleneck collars, the first 2 appearances, I think they're a real formidable threat. And obviously have this great thing of, if you stare away, you forget that they're there. They could be anywhere around you at any time, but you wouldn't know unless you have some markers on your screen. There's some very simple cosplay stuff there. But the way they look, they are absolutely humongous in height, and they look like they're constantly kind of screaming. They've got these massive heads. It's a real creepy look. A bit like Davros, they can shoot electricity out of their hands, kind of absorbing all the light from their surroundings. But I think they're an absolute great threat. They could be anywhere around you. You just wouldn't know. So if you feel someone behind you, that might be a silence. At number 4, we have The Empty Child / the Gas Mask Zombies. This is the 2-parter, which is probably the most popular from the 9th Doctor era. The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. The thing behind the Gas Mask Zombies ain't too scary, but it's what they've created through trying to help this poor child who has a gas mask on, which the gas mask has a lot of history behind it, of course, like World War. They've got these obviously massive eyes and the massive gas mask. It's just kind of like hollow, empty thing, which is so vague and ominous. Then you've got a whole army of them asking for their mummy. It only works off in that one-off story. Obviously, it's got the horrible, dark memories of World Wars. Kind of a similar briefing system to Darth Vader. An impossible army of gas mask zombies? No, thank you. Now into the top 3 now. So, at number 3, The Weeping Angels. Up there, one of the most popular monsters post the revival. They obviously started in the episode Blink, and they've had many different adaptations in the series, including Time of Angels 2-parter and The Angels Take Manhattan. I feel each time they have got less and less scary because we know more about them, but especially in Blink, they work so well. It's obviously a Doctorless episode, it's set in this creepy house. I remember they have this great montage at the end of that episode, and you see all the different statues, and I can't imagine anybody going out of the episode looking at a statue the same way again. They are literally non-movable, but when you blink, they will move, and they move at lightning speed. We need to blink, like that's how we sort of refresh our eyes. So it is going to get you anyway. You could obviously kind of blink one eye and blink the other, but there's a chance of you blinking completely. Once you've kind of laid eyes on it, it's a pretty struggle you're going to get out of that. And obviously it sends you back in time. It's kind of like a worse way of killing you. They take away who you are from that present time. I think that's a very morbid, sick way, worse than death, I think, to be honest. Number 2, The Flood from the Waters of Mars. Honestly, the zombie-style faces with the ruptured mouths and the eyes, which have got really small pupils and massive white eyes. One of the most scariest looks, I think, Doctor Who has ever done. So again, a kind of another form of zombies. It's basically a virus in the water, which can be found on Mars. Unless they bring it back to Earth, which, unless they do a Mars trip in the future, I think we'll stay off that planet. So obviously, one drop of water, they infect you and they take over your body. I think we as humans humans are like 70% water and the Earth is 80%. I'm not too sure on those figures. So it is a big part of us, and obviously water is something you need to survive, and it takes one little drop to make you become like them, this kind of ravageous creature, which the look is just, oh god, yeah, I remember watching that, and I think that was a step too far in a way. They didn't hold back on that design. It's a great design, I love it. But for Doctor Who, I remember there was quite a big backlash, because it was like, is this a bit too far for like kids? But in all honesty, it's one of the most creepy designs I think Doctor Who has ever done, playing on something that I guess we take for granted. And my number one scariest monster from Doctor Who is the Cybermen, my all-time favourite villains. This is the first Doctor Who monster for me personally that just frightened the hell out of me. So obviously they first appeared in the 10th Planet, the last Hartnell story, which I think had the most creepiest design, which was the most human. Of course, the Cybermen are us, humans converted into metal emotionless creatures, which are intent, again a bit like zombies, intent to take you over and to convert you to being one of them, taking away your identity, your sex, your class, your colour, your creed. I did not quote Doomsday there. So the Mondasian design from the 10th Planet I think is probably the most scariest design, because it is the most human. Like, you have a cloth face which recognises human, but you've got these metal body parts and they still have their hands from the human conversion. I'd say when I was younger, I kind of got into Doctor Who properly for Series 2. I kind of followed Series 1 quite lightly, but I was probably a Doctor Who fan when it was in Series 2, and I was very young at the time. And I had nightmares about the Cybermen, I kid you not. I don't know why, but it just really captured me. I had this real fear of the Cybermen taking me over. And I remember when they were in the trailer for the Army of Ghosts, I was tempted not to watch it, because the Rise of the Cybermen 2 Barter really creeped me out. I think there's that body horror aspect as well, of like you being sort of taken away and put into this cybernetic body. I don't know why, but that just really captured me as a child, and it just honestly gave me nightmares. Doctor Who, there's kind of a certain line, but with Torture and Big Finish, they've took it past that line, especially with Torture, the really gruesome, physical-looking stuff in that show, with the Cyberwoman episode. But Big Finish as well, they really know how to do the Cybermen. The Big Finish stories I've listened to really understand what their mindset is, the body horror aspects. But yeah, the look, the concept behind them, the messages about technology, I think make them the most scariest Doctor Who monster, especially in the age we live in now. So there you go, I hope you enjoyed my top 10 scariest Doctor Who monsters rundown. Please comment, like and subscribe me, and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, links to that stuff in the description below. What are your scariest Doctor Who monsters / villains? Let me know in the comment section below, and tell me why you've chose them as well. Just want to say happy Halloween. It is October, nearly October 31st. I'm doing another Halloween themed video. I'm going to be doing a trailer for the Series 11 monsters, taking all the gruesome monsters from the latest series into a horror style trailer, so look out for that in the near future. Don't forget to vote in the top 50 YouTubers, and also if you're going to MCM on Sunday the 27th of October, I'd love to see you there. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.